everybody.
Hi, friends. Well, from beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
where we, a couple of atheists, just try to figure out how to make sense of politics and life and everything here in these United States of America.
I'm Frank Feldman.
I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up on the show today, Dan, a controversial new pick for leadership at the Mormon Church. One Mr. Clark Gilbert.
Yeah.
A young man by Mormon apostle standards.
Oh, yeah. We'll explain everything. Don't worry. We're not gonna. I mean, it's just a glimpse into the most American of the religions.
Yeah.
And
their corporate structure
and
how it works
and how they're making decisions and what.
And it's fascinating. I promise everybody.
We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good. It sounds boring,
horribly dry and awful.
Mormons are boring and stuff, but
filled with intrigue and palace succession and
hatred and arch conservatism and stuff like that.
So we'll be getting to that on the second half of the show.
Yeah.
First, some things happened, Dan. Some news of the week.
Yeah.
Including a very interesting reaction in Alabama in their legislature to the church protests, the demonstrations up in Minneapolis, the famous city's church demonstrations that we talked about on the show.
Yeah. This is where a bunch of protesters marched into a church, just intimidated everyone and scared the children and
scared the bejesus out of them in order to
stood there and yelled chants about ICE because their pastor was a nice guy.
Correct.
Not a nice guy, but an ICE guy.
Thank you.
Just wanted to be clear about
for that clarification, Dan. No, so their state legislature is they're deciding what they should do. Like if this is now a thing, if people are going around and disrupting church services, maybe the state should say something about this, right? Maybe the state should have a law. Maybe they disrupting a church service should be a felony, Dan.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe
it is against the law. It's against the law to trespass onto someone else's property as a form of protest. It's already against the law.
It's already against the law.
You don't have to worry about it.
It's maybe disturbing the peace. I don't know exactly what that would be. And there already actually are some laws about in a lot of different states, because obviously, the states all kind of approach this differently with different sets of laws. And, the might fall under sort of a state law that's about disrupting a sort of a public gathering, a meeting of sorts, right? These laws exist. There's laws in states about disrupting a municipal meeting, going down, disrupting city hall, right? Yes. Or a city council meeting when they've convened to decide which sewer they're going to fix.
You're not allowed to disrupt. All right. So
these
Alabama
laws already exist, and they are by and large, maybe there's some exceptions out there, but by and large, the standard thing is that it is a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Right. You aren't thrown into jail for up to 10 years.
Oh gosh. Okay.
If it's a second offense, minimum 5.
Okay.
Class C felony is what Alabama wants to do. And so this is how the bill puts it. According to the bill, a person commits the crime of disruption of a worship service if they knowingly enter a church building with the intent to disrupt the worship service and either engages in an unlawful protest, riot, or disorderly conduct inside the church building, or otherwise engages in harassment of any individual participant in the worship service, or obstructs the ingress or egress of the church building or church.
Can this apply to the pastor? If the pastor's in his own church, but he harasses and harangues a specific member of that church, can that pastor then be subject to this law? That's what I want to know.
They honestly, they should broaden it so that it would, because I agree. Pastors should not be able to berate the people or embarrass them or whatnot.
Here's the other thing. Can this apply? And it needs apply to the fact that ICE agents have been going into churches and yoinking people out of churches regularly.
There's probably some exemption for
I'm sure in Alabama
police action.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
However that would work. I mean, you'd have to, anyway. The sponsor, State Representative Greg Barnes, Republican. Surprise, surprise.
Right.
This is what he has to say. In Alabama, we're not going to sit by and allow crazy people to intimidate our women and children. We simply will not tolerate it.
Here's the thing. I've been in church when someone wanted, a member of that church wanted to come in and take somebody down a peg or make a stick. We talked about one time when a woman went into a Mormon church and called out the bishop in front of everybody because the bishop was horrible and, did something really, really bad. All of that. So all of that would be subject to this law.
You would think. Yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like the kind of thing it seems like an overreaction. Right.
What?
Because also as I was saying, it's just so out of scale of what other similar laws, what the punishment for I think it's absurd that they feel the need to do this, whatever. And it's clearly, there are constitutional rights that are sort of at odds with each other here. Right. And it does make sense. This is private property. This is there's a specific thing that is happening, right? Like if you want to make disrupting that sort of class of event illegal and lay out the kind of penalties and do all that, fine. Make it the same across the board though.
Yeah.
Right? I don't see what the difference would be in going and disrupting a city council meeting versus a church meeting, right? They're both public coming together.
Or walking into a classroom on a college campus and or something like that.
You can kind of see that they're different. They're obviously government versus private property and, government taking act I can see the differences between a city council meeting and a church meeting, but it's essentially the same thing.
Absolutely.
Right? And this is
remind
ridiculous.
me, did this law require trespass for it to be engaged?
The article doesn't mention trespassing.
Okay. Because you said what was involved in it. And I just,
anybody who knowingly enters a church building with the intent to disrupt the worship service.
So it does require entering the church, which means that if you have a loud enough sound system, you can still not engage this law. I'm just letting you know.
Just from the outside.
I'm just brainstorming.
You can still disrupt church.
You can still have an effect on the church meeting if you wanna.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Bunch of honking horns outside would
absolutely
get going
absolutely. Well. You can it just requires creativity, people. That's all we're saying.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to hop from Alabama over to Oklahoma, one of our favorite states, where you'll recall we talked about a little while ago. They tried to make a an online Catholic school, charter school, and they tried so that it would be basically government funded, straight up Christian school. And that got sued and it went to the Oklahoma Supreme Court, and the Oklahoma Supreme Court was like, nope. And then it went to the U.S. Supreme Court, and Amy Coney Barrett actually she recused herself. She did not explain why, but she recused herself, and that left this at a deadlock, 4-4. And that meant that the lower court ruling stood, and therefore maybe it didn't go to the Supreme Court. No, I think it did. Anyway, the Oklahoma Supreme Court. Anyway, the other ruling stood because it was deadlocked in the Supreme Court, and therefore the charter school failed. They weren't allowed to do it.
Right.
Now, there is some guess as to why Justice Barrett decided decided she had to recuse herself from this. And she is Catholic, and she was at Notre Dame, and she was part of a group, and there was another Catholic person who was an advisor to this school that she worked with, and there's a bunch of question marks about why that happened, but it's likely to do with her connections to Catholicism in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
It doesn't mean that a Catholic judge can't rule on a Catholic thing, but she was just connected in some way.
Right.
Well, Oklahomans have not given up on the idea of religious charter schools. They really want it.
Okay.
Or at least the shitbag conservatives really want it. So they've run another one up the flagpole. They tried to get a charter school called Ben Gamla Jewish Charter School. This is a school that apparently is well regarded for its education.
Okay.
But obviously, it's not okay to have a religious charter school. That's just not okay for public funds to be drawn out from the public school system to go into a specifically religious school.
And so what religion is this one? Did you
Jewish.
say? It's Jewish. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
So they're being clever here.
Well,
They're
think
like,
so.
are you anti-Semitic? Right? Are they going to try to, if you oppose,
or just get Amy Barrett back on the bench for this one, get her back into the game, or something. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know what the whole plan here is.
Okay.
Here's what I do know: the Oklahoma Charter School Board has declined to make this happen
because they're anti-Semitic.
Right. I don't know. They turned it down. However, they immediately lawyered up. So I think it's very clear that the plan here is for this charter school to now sue,
right,
and run it back through the system and try and make it happen again.
Jesus.
Okay. So we'll see from there. But there's your update. They lost once, and now they're doing it Jewish style, which is odd because that no one on that school board wants a Jewish public charter school. Nobody.
Right. They would plug their noses and approve it if it were legal and
right.
kosher to do so, but
so to speak, as it were.
I there was hesitation. I didn't want to.
I heard
the word came. I said no, you can't say that, and then I was like, hey, why not?
Sure. So there you go. We'll try to keep you up to date on what happens with that. If they do decide to sue, if the school decides to sue.
All right.
We'll see.
The times we live in, Dan.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, down there in Australia,
a
country that's trying to prove that it's on its own, what do you call it?
Trajectory?
Well, the multiverse. It's on its own decent multiverse.
Oh, okay. Timeline.
But it's working okay for Australia.
Yeah,
their timeline seems to be. They keep passing good laws and high standard of living, happy populace. Anyway, their high court. And I don't know how the Australian court system works. I barely have a basic understanding of the American one.
It's mostly
But-
koalas and kangaroos.
making the decisions.
Uh-huh.
It's the koala court. That'd be cute.
Yeah.
They need to do that.
Yeah. There's your reality show right there.
It would have
Australia.
half the. There was actually no joke. I was trying to figure out a chlamydia joke, and
There you go.
anyway, well, down in Australia, there was a case that went through the courts in New South Wales, where there was a pedophile priest that was being sued. Well, let's see, how did it all work? He wasn't being sued. The victim was suing the local diocese,
Sure.
saying that the diocese had failed to provide the appropriate care by allowing this priest access to kids.
Right. Yeah.
And the diocese is like, whoa, we didn't know what he was up to. And they're like, and the plaintiffs are like, we don't care. You clearly you didn't care.
Yeah,
right?
you had an
you
obligation
didn't vet
to
this guy,
vet this person, and continually observe and make sure.
And you didn't do it. And whether or not you knew that was your responsibility, we're suing you over this. Well, the New South Wales highest court initially agreed with the diocese and said no. They didn't know, and it was reasonable that they didn't know. And so the plaintiff, who's only known by initials AA,
Good. Sure.
so I'm not intentionally avoiding a name here
Right.
or whatnot. He and let me name the abuser, Father Ron Picken, who abused him when he was just 13 years old, back in 1969. And the abuse took place in a presbytery, after Picken had offered AA and another boy alcohol and cigarettes.
These priests, man, they are.
It was the 60s, you know.
They are bold.
They're definitely going to be offering the kids cigarettes in the 60s.
You want
nowadays?
weed?
I don't think it would. Yeah, it would have to be something else.
Yeah, I don't.
Video
even know.
games and
Adderall. I don't. I'm like,
all of the TikTok you can watch. Anyway, so they appealed to the High Court, and the High Court agreed with the plaintiff, agreed with AA.
There you go.
And so there's now a decision, and this creates a huge precedent.
Yeah.
Not just for churches, but any organization that has people working with kids. You have to provide a safe place, and you have to take extra effort. You have to do extra things to make sure that the kids are safe, knowing that the vast majority of adults are safe.
Yeah.
But there are those who are not, and we have to root them out, and we have to be serious about this, and we have to create situations where the kids can't find themselves in these sorts of scenarios.
Yeah.
Right. There's
no way to fully protect children.
Right.
That's not going to be possible. But
you
have
can't
to
create
be
like a police state for kids to grow up in.
You have to be taking extreme measures. If you're working with kids, you need to be taking every measure that you have access to.
Yeah.
To keep those kids safe.
Yeah. But going forward, any kind of organizations like churches will be held liable for abuse perpetrated by those to whom it entrusts the care of children.
Good.
So it's an excellent, wonderful development. And my next story will show you how we handle stuff like this in the United States.
Oh, God. Okay. Good.
So
fine.
anyway.
That's just what we do here. I might have reversed those so we end on a higher note, but that's okay. It's too late now. We're going in.
No, right. I wanted the one that needs like a trigger warning to not be my second story.
Yeah. Okay. So. Fine. Okay. So listeners, I think we talked about this. Listeners may remember that back at the beginning of, it was only May. It was only last May. It was less than a year ago.
Okay.
But early in the Trump administration, this last year has been the longest, like 30 decades of my life, as during this Trump administration. However, last year, Trump signed an executive order creating the Religious Liberty Commission, which is supposed to, quote, offer diverse perspectives on how the federal government can defend religious liberty for all Americans.
Okay.
And we all trust that that's what it means, that they really do mean religious liberty for everybody.
For everyone, sure.
And if you believe that, I have property in Florida to sell you. Here's the thing. No, they did not intend to do that. Now, this does fall under the Federal Advisory Committee Act of 1972. FACA, as it is known, basically governs how advisory committees like this commission, like the Religious Liberty Commission, are how they are meant to be, because this is an advisory commission for the U.S. government. So in order for that to happen, they passed that law basically saying it's got to be made up of a multitude of ideologies. It can't just be stacked with a single ideology.
Sure.
Because, corruption is a problem. And so, it's got to be balanced. So usually that balance looks like, some Republicans and some Democrats, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's usually in that sort of range. But I can't, this is a first time for this commission. So it's hard to know how, how courts would view what a multiplicity of ideologies would look like. But I tell you what it won't look like, which is, I think, 9 conservative Christians and 1 conservative Orthodox Jew. I think that's not
not how these things are supposed to
how that's
be
meant
set up
to work. The conservative Christians include, by the way, I think Dr. Phil is one of them, and Franklin Graham.
This administration, Trump's fascination with, like, it's like Dr. Oz being, what is he, like the Surgeon General or something ridiculous?
No, he's I don't remember. He's some sort of,
It's just this fascinating. Well,
he's the head of health, and that's anyway.
Yeah,
if they've been on TV, they must be better.
He's a TV doctor. Yeah.
Dr. Phil is awful, just like Dr. Oz is.
He's the administrator of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services.
Yeah. Okay. So dumb. Anyway, Dr. Phil's on this thing. Franklin Graham, Eric Metaxas, who's a lovely piece of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, lots of it is all very, very white. It is largely male. There's at least 1 female.
Okay. They got a woman on there.
A pageant, a beauty queen, a former beauty queen, Carrie Prejean Bowler.
Really?
Oh no. Oh yeah. I don't know what else was. I read.
Well, that's how women get their roles in the Trump administration.
Have you seen the women of the Trump administration?
Yeah.
They don't. He doesn't care if they're qualified, but have they had the right amount of the correct kinds of plastic surgery? That's one thing. Are they pretty? All of his female lawyers.
Yeah.
His male lawyers can look and sound horrible. But his female lawyers are all pretty.
That's how you know they're good.
That's how you know they're good.
Yeah.
So anyway, this commission is bullshit, and something is now being done, which is that a lawsuit has been filed by a coalition of people, including, let me find it. I'll just go straight to the lawsuit and say who the plaintiffs are. The Interfaith Alliance, Reverend Paul Brandeis Rauschenbusch, Muslims for Progressive Values, Seek American Legal Defense and Education Fund, and Hindus for Human Rights.
All right.
And they're being represented apparently by lawyers who work for the Alliance Defending Freedom, or not. Nope, that's the wrong one. It's the good guys. What's the name of hang on, I'll find it. Americans United for Separation of Church and State.
Oh yeah, they're great.
That good group, not the other one. It's funny how they sound similar. Alliance Defending Freedom sounds great. They're not great, but Americans United is fantastic.
Yeah. All right.
So we'll see what happens if anything comes of this at all. But it may, because they are not following the law. Like that Federal Advisory Committee Act is the law of the land.
All right.
We'll see. Who knows?
Okay. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Like, let's get some people on there who represent other ways of.
Well, and it's not just that. They're also
delusion.
not following the law in the sense that they're also not releasing all of, like, there are all these laws about how they have to release all of the speakers that are going to be coming out, and, you know, a transcript of all of their meetings and all this stuff, and video. They have been releasing video of their meetings, but some of it's edited, and it's like, So they're suing. We'll see what happens.
Good. Excellent. Well, Dan, like I said, I at least will maybe not do a full trigger warning, but the next story involves child sexual abuse.
Yeah.
And so just be aware that's where we're going. Specifically has to do with a former Oklahoma State penitentiary chaplain. Real good guy. The story.
This is not going to go well. I don't like where you're going at all. I'm not happy in the least.
Well, normally we don't. We do try, everybody. We try not to do these stories, but then there's something outrageous. There's a detail in here. This isn't just a former prison chaplain who had in his possession child sex abuse material.
Okay.
Right.
It is that, but then
it is.
But wait, there's more.
And it's not. It's also not just that it was on his state issued laptop.
Oh my God.
Like an absolute genius.
Oh my
right?
God. That's just offensive in how stupid it is.
Or that the way that he was caught was because the state runs a system that tracks weird patterns for how people are using their state issued laptops.
Good. Yes.
And his laptop was flagged, brace yourselves, for discussions of sexual fantasies involving not just children, his children.
God damn it.
Right. Where he talked on Reddit, on some horrible subreddit, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm very happy not to know this side of Reddit. Whatever side of Reddit you're about to tell me about, I'm very glad I've never met it.
Where he was telling stories about stories involving his children, things that he said he and his wife did with their children.
Oh God.
So forth and so on. Okay. So that's this guy.
Yeah.
David Prince, who he was charged back in 2023 for all of this. And he was charged with 2 felony counts, one for procuring, producing, distributing, or possessing juvenile pornography, and another for violating Oklahoma's computer crime statute.
Sure.
Okay. All right. But then 2 years later, more than 2 years now, the district attorney, Chuck Sullivan, offered Prince a plea deal.
No.
That he took. So Prince pleaded no contest. And the associate district judge, Tim Mills, gave gave this guy, David Prince, a 10-year suspended sentence. And get this, Dan, the fine of $500.
It's just,
and I assume it's because he was a man of God.
yeah.
Because
it's like the whole idea, when we know for a fact that like there are people in this country who have gotten worse sentences for like some very, fucking jaywalking or some shit.
Sure. Yeah, because this is all he got really was $500. Now, he did have to register on the sex offenders list.
Sure, that's terrible.
And
I mean, it's necessary for him.
I think 2 years he'll be supervised for 2 years by the Department of Corrections, whatever that means.
Does he still have kids? Were they taken away? What's going on with that?
I don't know family status. I know that the church that he worked for part-time as an associate pastor did fire him, and obviously the Department of Corrections fired him.
Yeah.
But the thing that I guess maybe this tilted something in his favor, but it's still bullshit. He entered and completed a 9-month residential program through Pure Life Ministries.
Jesus.
Prior to the sentencing hearing. And according to a letter sent to the court from the program, it says that it exists to serve Christian individuals and organizations dealing with sexual sin throughout the world by providing biblically based counseling. Great.
Yeah, not real counseling.
Teaching resources and a public speaking ministry with the goal of leading Christians to victory over sexual sin through a deeper life in God.
Jesus Christ.
And
here's the thing. I got to say, I saw a recent TikTok that was by a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about the Epstein files, and it was about calling the people on the Epstein files, including Trump, mm-hmm. pedophiles because they had sex with underage people.
Mm-hmm.
And what he said was that it actually does a disservice because there are different categories of this thing, and pedophiles are often people who are against their will attracted to underage people, to children, and most of them work their asses off to fight it. Most of them don't want that attraction. They don't choose it, and they do everything in their power to keep themselves away from children, to fight this thing. And they're actually like, that is a typical pedophile.
Okay.
And that's very different than someone who's a billionaire who thinks he can just have anything he wants and is on a power trip and just does it because it's wrong and fuck you and whatever. And that's a very different category of awful.
Yeah.
Anyway, this guy's bad. This guy's an actual pedophile, and I gross. It's just not acceptable in any way. And I would prefer that actually someone like this person, they can't, what the law should say is you can't be around kids. Like there's in no capacity can you be ever unsupervised around kids ever for any reason at all. And never, you can never have a job that puts you around kids.
Yeah.
And then you need real actual counseling. And
not whatever that Christian,
not biblical bullshit. Like the Bible doesn't
Bible
say
camp.
anything about this.
Yeah.
The Bible says nothing useful about this, period.
Right.
So, I want this guy to get help.
Absolutely. He desperately needs help.
Yeah. And our society should be looking to help people.
But 2 years of supervision and $500
and then
$500 fine.
Then fucking
and 9 months at Bible camp.
At Bible camp, where you end up getting speaking engagements afterwards. I was a pedophile and now I'm making my money talking to what? Oh my God. Okay.
Anyway, I do want to just add this one detail though, Dan, because this is important. Because after he agreed to speak with the investigators and admitting to everything.
Yeah.
He said that he did view child sex abuse material, but never actively searched for it. Right.
guess what? That's a lie. Because do you know what doesn't come across your desk if you're not actively searching for it? Because
I don't know.
Listen, ads for things. I get ads all the time, but there's never been a pop-up for like, hey, you like kids?
Right. Fair enough.
That just doesn't happen.
And then following that lie, he denied having sexual contact with his children and said that the conversations were, quote, only fantasy.
Well, I deeply hope that's true. With all of my heart, I hope that that's true. I don't believe that that's true.
Sick shit.
Yeah. Not okay.
He felt fine posting about it on Reddit.
Yeah, none of it's okay.
Acting like it was real.
But like, and it probably like emboldened some other people to do some awful things and to say some
That's
awful
probably
things.
true, Dan. Yeah.
So, so none of that's okay. But for his kid's sake, I hope that it's true that he didn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
That would be great. All right. Well, everybody just take a breath. Let's shake that out of our systems a little bit and try not to think about it anymore.
Apologies, everyone. It was I passed those stories up, but
sometimes we're going to talk about it.
When somebody gets basically next to no punishment compared to the crime.
Yeah.
Because of Christian faith,
because Jesus hard enough.
Yeah. Because of that, I can't.
It's gross. It's awful. But you're right. You were right to bring it up. That judge should be impeached from their judgeship. Mm-hmm. That is like that. Oh, if you live in that area, you should start a campaign to get rid of that judge.
The McAllister area, everybody. Pittsburgh County, if you're in the area.
Gross. Okay. Yeah. Pittsburgh County, where? What state?
Oklahoma. Sorry, did I not say Oklahoma?
I don't know if you did. I was too busy gearing up for what you were about to tell me about this dude. All right. So if you're in that area, maybe this judge.
I might have failed to say. No, I said the Oklahoma State Penitentiary.
Yeah. Anywho, okay. I'm going to take us now to the Pacific Northwest, where there was in Portland, there was a college or a university, Multnomah University.
What was it?
Multnomah?
Multnomah.
Multnomah, which is the name of a beautiful waterfall. If you've never driven from here to Portland, if you have driven from here to Portland, it's on the left. You'll see it. It's stunning, the waterfall.
Okay.
Anyway, Multnomah University was a Christian school.
Okay.
They were struggling. They were really having a hard time. I hate
to hear that, Dan.
I think a lot of Christian universities are struggling, and that's really nice. This one was going under. They were trying to get people to donate and whatever, and it just wasn't happening. And the sad thing is that would mean that there are a bunch of ungraduated students that have paid a lot of money and will not get any degree, and that's sad. And they were trying. I mean, it's a degree from a dumb university, but it's still you put in the time, you put in the money, and then you trust that it's going to happen. Anyway, they were really trying to avoid shutting down, and they in a moment right as they were everything was going to collapse. They made an announcement. We have figured out how to stay open. We're going to merge with another school. This was the, let's see. Sorry, I had it here. Jessup University, which is based out of Northern California. And they basically, they just decided, hey, we do similar things. Let's just sort of merge up, and you guys can keep us going, and we can make this thing happen.
Where is this going? I'm okay. Dan, tell me. I'm actually just like, where is this?
I'm getting there.
I'm getting excited, Dan.
Okay, keep going. So they merge up, and they didn't do a traditional thing, which is one of them purchases the other. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
They just had what the leader of Jessup called a merging of missions. And they basically merged. and they signed all the agreements, and then Jessup turned around and immediately closed everything, fired everybody, and said, we're just going to, and basically it was a scam. It was all a scam. Because Jessup was in tens of millions of dollars of debt, and they found a way to pay some of it off. Basically, they
merged and shut down.
Oh no,
two schools?
I'm sorry. Jessup has more than $100 million in debt, and so as soon as they signed the paperwork, essentially, Jessup just said, "Never mind. You're closed. You're fired, and all your buildings belong to us." And it was worth, it's like, $30 million worth of assets that Multnomah had brought to the table. And Jessup was just like, fuck it.
Oh my God.
Do you remember how...
What assholes?
And they must have had this intention from the beginning. They must have done. Like, I can't imagine that they ever... If this is what they did, I can't imagine that they ever had any intention of keeping Multnomah open. So yes, a whole bunch of students are now out to dry, and a whole bunch of faculty are out to dry. There's a lawsuit, a very cute little lawsuit that will probably go nowhere, by former professors at Multnomah and faculty and staff and whatever, because they just, this was done in good faith, and then bad faith stepped in, and so they're trying to make something happen. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Wow. It reminds me of, do you remember we did a story many years ago about there was a website / app that was for micro lending, and it would just introduce, there would be basically people who wanted to start, a very small business, and it might have been in a third world country or whatever. I want to start a delivery business, and I want to buy a motorcycle to do it. And they just sort of put it out there. I want $500. I'll pay you back.
Sure.
And, other people would jump in on the lender side and say, I have, X amount of money. I would like to lend it to someone to help them get a leg up. So you read through their profiles and you decide who you want to help out, and then you give them money. And then they pay you back, hopefully. And it, for the most part, worked great. And you got a little bit of interest out of it. So, you get to be the bank and make a little bit of money and make somebody else's dreams come true. And that was great. But at one point, that website, and I don't remember what it was called, put out a review of, like, what are the things that are on, like, they looked at who didn't end up paying some stuff back.
Okay.
Who ended up screwing people over. And the number one thing on a profile that was a predictor of whether that person was going to not pay back their thing was a mention of God. If they put a mention of God in their call for money, that didn't guarantee that they weren't going to pay you back, but it was the number one predictor that you weren't going to get your money back.
Yeah. I mean, bad people use Christianity as a cover.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And people will use that. They know that they can manipulate people, like real Christians, right? Real Christians, just good people who are Christian, who want to believe that other Christians are going to treat them well, right? They know they know they can get them.
They know
there
they
are
can.
There are just those actors within probably any religious community, not just Christianity, but who are taking advantage of the shared identity to establish trust.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just think it's fascinating to see it on a large institutional scale where it's like, we're going to make a handshake deal. We're going to make it quick and fast, because it's got to be quick, because we're closing tomorrow. And then it's like, cool, let's do this. Handshake, sign the paperwork. You're fired. Everybody's gone.
That's unreal. It's a thing. That's
there you go. Well, if you'd like to write into us and let us know about a time when you had a Christian trying to swindle you, feel free to write into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. We'd love to hear from you. The telephone number is 424-666-8442. Stick around. There's more show coming up.
Hey Frank, you know what we haven't been saying regularly that we should be?
What's that?
That we're on YouTube and people should go there and like and comment and subscribe to us.
You should. You totally should.
We're still working on that. We're still trying to build it. It's not. it's going okay, but you guys could be helpful in that regard. So that would be nice. And if you're on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't yet subscribed to us,
subscribe.
What the heck, man?
Leave a comment.
Yeah.
We
Say
love
hi.
it. Yeah.
We'll say hi back.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Anyway, we had some folks write into us and call into us. So I'll get us started over here with Brennan, who wrote in. Now, here's the truth. This is a reference to a moment that I don't necessarily remember us talking about.
Okay. All right.
So y'all are going to have to just bear with us. But Brennan says, you had a low nuanced view of Trump accounts. I think we briefly mentioned Trump accounts.
Okay.
These are accounts for kids that it's an investment and
well, this would,
it would create an account that's tied into the stock market. And then as the kids get older, it hopefully grows and then they've got some money for when they grow up and they turn 18 or whatever.
Right.
Anyway.
This was related to the Nicki Minaj story.
Okay, sure.
And her sort of getting up and preaching about Trump.
Yeah.
Being chosen of God or something. I can't remember.
And doing so much good in the world.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and she's promoting these accounts.
And she got a good end of that deal. Anyway, Brennan goes on, the idea of baby bonds precedes Trump accounts. Baby bonds are a means of equalizing wealth for 18-year-olds. Cory Booker has proposed baby bonds before, and they are primarily a blue state policy. In my mind, Trump accounts show some bureaucrat was actually successful in pushing for policies to try out economic theories. Just because baby bonds have a metaphorical gold spray paint all over them doesn't mean there's zero merit.
Sure.
I mean, I hate the fact that the Trump accounts are tied to the stock market. I think that's a terrible idea. I think it's just like 401ks. It is just a way that wealthy people wanted to make poor people's fates entwined with the stock market. So that if something bad happens in the stock market, it affects them too, not just the wealthy. And I think that that's not the best way to do it. Baby bonds as a concept, I did do some more research, and baby bonds were always proposed never as a stock market thing, but just as an account that was then not only got an initial funding, but then was usually paid into over time by the state.
Okay.
And so it grew in that way. And anyway, that would be great. I'm a fan of the baby bonds idea as a concept. I don't love the idea of having it tied into the stock market, and with the Trump accounts, it's just a one-time initial donation from the government, and then you're on your own. You can give to it. You can put more money into it.
Right.
The government stops helping.
Right.
It's not bad though. It's still nice. It's still a good thing to have, but
sure,
there are better and worse ways to do it. All right. Well, so you had Rachel on last week. Thank you so much, Rachel, for helping out. That was great. And one of the things that y'all talked about was Pie and Beer Day and how there should be more holidays involving pie.
Correct. Yeah.
Pie and Beer Day is Utah's Pioneer Day. Anyway,
right. That's what we non-Mormons tend to call it.
Right.
Instead of,
because we don't necessarily want to celebrate a group of religious weirdos fleeing one country to try and illegally, take residence in another country to hide from the law while they're practicing polygamy. Anyway, Sarah from Quebec had the suggestion that March 14th, as in 3.14,
it's already pie.
It's already pie. Celebrate pie.
Yeah. So you just find an excuse.
There's no wrong day to celebrate pie.
I'm all there.
Sometimes you want a more playful pie, and sometimes you might want a more somber pie. You know what I mean? But
which would be a somber pie?
Somber pie. I would say a mincemeat pie.
Oh, that is somber.
Is a somber pie, even though those who make them, because only 6 people make them in the whole world anymore, but they might, but it's darker, richer flavors and whatever.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what a somber pie is. I can't believe you called me out on that, Frank. I had nothing.
Well, I mean, you could say that maybe like a heavier, denser, a pecan pie could be somber.
A pecan. Sure.
Right?
Get your pecan pie out there.
Bright like a cherry pie.
Maybe any of your vegetable-based pies. A pumpkin pie might be a somber pie.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
As opposed to a cherry pie or a razzleberry, if you want to get Murray Calendars about it.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yes, please.
All right. We have a voicemail, do we not?
We do, Dan. This is somebody responding to a conversation that we were having. I think you did a story about Catholics in South America who weren't believers.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
There's a drop in Catholicism in Latin America. Yeah.
But they're still Catholic. They just don't believe in God. Wasn't that
that was an element of it. When we were parsing out the data, there was a group that was like Catholic, but and identified very much as Catholic, but then were atheist also.
Right.
Just as a fun little side thing.
Well, he's the caller is picking up on that.
Sounds great.
Hi, Frank and Dan. This is Kevin from New York. I'm a huge fan of the show. I was listening to your most recent episode where you discussed the decline of Catholicism in Central and South America, and I wanted to jump in on Dan's question about how someone can identify as Catholic or Christian without actually believing in God. And I'm that person, but just in a Mormon flavor. I don't believe in God, and definitely not in the Mormon God. I also don't believe the LDS Church's truth claims, but I still identify as Mormon. And a few quick reasons why some people might do this is, one, culture. Religion is often more about casseroles, hymns, and family traditions than theology. 2, family. It's easier to lose belief than to lose your friends, family, and even a spouse. 3 is community. Churches are still great at music, service projects, and built-in friendships. 4 is self-preservation. Sometimes the phrase, I don't believe in God, comes with consequences, so people tend to ease out slowly. Some of us are religious the way people are still fans of the band they loved in high school, nostalgic, socially committed, and no longer convinced it's actually good. As a child of the 90s, for me, that is and was the Smashing Pumpkins and Nirvana. Thanks. Love the show.
Oh, man. Nirvana, really? You're coming in hot. You're coming in hot.
Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, we can all let go of Smashing Pumpkins, but I think there's going to be some Gen Xers out there who are not okay with you throwing Nirvana back under that bus.
My husband cannot hear this episode.
Just suddenly, you know what he'll be doing? He'll be raging against the machine all of a sudden. Anyway.
Can I just...
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I think all of those points are fair. You know what I mean? Like, I think it is a little rough to say I'm culturally Mormon because Mormon culture is so cheeseball.
Oh, Dan.
I am of this same ilk. They are two my people, so I believe I can shit on them if I want to. I think you and I both know. Mormon.
Sure.
I mean, casseroles is not enough to hang on to. But like, there's so many good reasons why, people lose everything when not everybody, lots of people, they leave. And, for me, my family was fine. And you were young enough that I was young.
Yeah.
But I wasn't so young that I, lost my housing stability or whatever, which, if you're in your teens and you choose to leave the church of your family, sometimes they kick you out or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they can be horrible, horrible people. And only you know what your family is like.
Sure.
So staying is a viable option. It's torture. You have to go to their church, which is, God, just a miserable, miserable time. At least it's only 2 hours a week instead of 3 like it was when we were growing up.
Yeah.
And it can be, I will say this, just as a word of caution, it can be soul destroying to stay to the point where it can cause genuine, real damage. So only you can make that call. Only you can figure out what's right for you. Maybe in consultation with therapy and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can lose a lot if you leave. You're absolutely right about that. Anyway, I hope you're okay.
Just judging by the voicemail,
sounded pretty okay.
I think Kevin's okay.
Sounded pretty okay. But keep it that way. Look after you. That's important. Well, you have one more email, and then we can move on. This is from Torsten, who says, "Hi, Frank and Dan and Rachel. If I find myself in a captive audience," this is, you guys talked about another moment of Christians.
It's a plague.
It's a plague. We can't allow it.
You were just on a plane, and were you lucky? Did you make it through without any preaching?
Not a single preach. So that's a good thing.
It's getting rarer and rarer. But that's actually true.
That may be an overstatement. That may be a tiny overstatement. But yes, it happening multiple times in the space of a couple months is enough to say no, please.
Yeah, and we need one more data point for this to be a trend.
But also, what we need is a plan, and we talked about it quite a bit after the first thing. Torsten says, "My plan is to repeat full-throatedly, 'You have no right to an audience,' until they shut up." Torsten says, "Hopefully others will join in." I don't know that they will, Torsten. You might be on your own for that, but go ahead. People don't have an inherent right to an audience.
Excuse me, sir.
Point of order.
You have no right.
You have no
to
right.
an audience.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, love it. That's good.
I think now it's just, you got to start carrying around a water bottle, or a squirt bottle, maybe.
Like just treat a cat.
No. No. I think that's that's my new go-to. I'm going to have to start. You have to fill it in the airport. You have to get the empty squirt bottle through that shouldn't be security.
A problem. Yeah.
You fill it there at the water filling stations. Most of the airports have them now.
Yeah.
And then just have it at the ready.
Yeah.
Just in case. All right. We have some folks to thank, do we not?
We do indeed, Dan. These are people who went to our website, thankgodimatheist.com/donate. Decided to sign up, support the show.
They might have gone straight to patreon.com/
and searched for us. That's possible too.
Search for Thank God I'm Atheist. Look for our logo.
TGI Atheist is probably how.
Probably, yeah, that sounds right.
Anyway, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. No.
12. No.
1, 2,
33.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I got carried away. 1, 2, 3 new deacons.
Okay. Wonderful.
This week we have Lisa, Crowd Dreamer, and Christopher.
Wonderful.
So thank you to the three of you.
Can I just point out, Cloud Dreamer, that you've taken advantage of something that other people can take advantage of, which is that if you sign up to be our patron over at Patreon and you give yourself a really a weird name, an offensive name, a stupid name, Frank has to say it. You can make Frank say whatever you want.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm just saying this is a possibility that is open to you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then we also have 3 new teachers.
Oh, okay. Wow.
We have Mike and Tacey. We have Spooky Shenanigans. And we have Katie.
Wonderful.
So,
thank you guys so much. These people all get magic powers, by the way.
Yeah.
We imbue upon them. We endow them, if you will.
Yes,
with TGIA priesthood power.
Mm-hmm.
So go out there and bless some folks. You're certainly blessing us.
It's on sale.
Yeah, man. You can just get it.
We are fine selling our
You don't have to go to meetings or nothing.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Thanks so much to all of our patrons. If you would like to join them, just go to. Oh, is there?
Yeah, we said that, but there is someone else to thank, Dan. I'm sorry.
Right. Is it
it's
just
been
the one
so
more?
long since we've done this?
Oh my gosh, I've lost everything. I don't know what we're doing.
We have our top donor to thank. Dan.
Yes,
our Lord and Savior.
Who's it gonna be?
Alexandra.
Amazing. More show coming up. Well, Franklin.
Dan.
J. Reuben Clark Gilbert. That's a Mormon deep cut for all you for all you Mormons out there. We have a new apostle. We Mormons.
We the former Mormons.
The Formans, if you will.
Yeah.
It's this guy Clark Gilbert. Now, okay, what happens is an apostle dies or the prophet dies, and then they gotta boost somebody else back up the chain.
Yeah.
Because there's a quorum of 12 who are the apostles, and so there was a Jeffrey R. Holland, famous most recently for his musket fire speech, where he basically was like, we got to arm ourselves against the gays.
Right. It was not a good speech.
It was not a good speech.
It was a bad look. Everything about it was just bad.
And because Mormons don't believe in apologizing, they didn't. I mean, Mormon people believe in apologizing, but Mormon leadership does not believe in apologizing for the church
at all.
So that never happened. So anyway, that he died. And who are they going to replace it with? It's always a signal. It is a signal to the church, to the world, where the current prophet wants this church to go.
Right, because the prophet gets to just pick this person.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like this is not a committee.
There's no voting. There's no, it might be in consultation with other people. It might not be.
Right.
They never let you know what the process looks like. They just announce. And the person that was announced was this Clark Gilbert fella. And that raised an eyebrow or two.
Well, because he's not an unknown figure to those who pay attention to such things in the Mormon Church. He's sort of the tyrannical, anti-gay bastard who was running like the church education system.
Yeah, he's the guy who, first of all, when he was at, I think he was in charge of the Deseret News for a while.
He was, yeah.
And that is the local newspaper that is church owned. And he fired like half of their staff.
Yeah, it was about 80 people, like from the newsroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what good do news reporters do for a newspaper? Anyway, that was kind of alarm bell number one.
The problem wasn't just downsizing. It was what he wanted to replace it with, which was just like readers submitted, like just random submissions from the public. Right. Wasn't that was basically
free stuff and puff pieces is what he was really into. He has, let's be clear, he's not a dumb person. He has a business degree from Harvard and he's like a smart guy. But what he cares about clearly is not a newspaper doing newspaper job. It is how does this thing promote the church and make money,
right,
and keep itself financially in good shape, regardless of how it affects the mission of the thing. And then he moved on to BYU, which is the Mormon-owned higher education, university system, because there's multiple BYUs.
Right, and he was up at BYU, Idaho.
At first, yeah. He was the president of that university, wasn't he? I think
he ended up being, yeah.
So and then he was like in charge, and then he was put in charge of like the church's overall education system or whatever.
Right.
And what he did in those capacities was so crazy and alarming that even very faithful members of the church who were like faculty at the universities were like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Because what he did, among other things, he started to make them swear like a fealty oath to the church and to orthodoxy, to very orthodox doctrines of the church.
Very much with the intent of rooting out any like LGBTQ plus supporting type people or ideology from like making its way into the classroom.
Yeah. I mean, they were basically signing a paper that was like, I affirm that queers are bad, and I affirm that trans people don't deserve any kind of humanity. And, he
is a cultural warrior.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. A culture warrior for sure. That is exactly the right way to describe him.
Yeah.
So elevating him in this way is a very clear message from now President Oaks of the church
yes.
Because the other thing we should note is that the way that the church leadership works is the next president of the church, as you know, Oaks just became president because the former prophet died, and Oaks was the longest serving apostle of the Quorum of the 12. And whoever's the longest serving apostle gets to be the next prophet.
Right.
So the fact that this Gilbert fella is in his mid 50s, which is younger and younger every year that I get closer to his, like he's only 5 years older than me.
Right. But this is in terms of how old the new apostles tend to be. They tend to be in their 60s.
In their 60s or even 70s.
Or even older. Yeah, right. So like to pick somebody in their 50s is like, it's a big move, and it's Oaks teeing up somebody to eventually be prophet of the church.
Yeah.
To be president of the church.
Yeah.
And to have a long time potentially
to have time to have a big impact on the church. It is
because the last guy that just got appointed was 62. Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's still kind of on the younger side, but 55 is like bold move.
Yeah. It is Dallin Oaks seeing that the world is getting more and more liberal. Everybody is accepting gay people more and more. And that's what this really is about. Like, I can't imagine what other things this could be about other than gay and trans people. It's just that rainbow flag bugging the shit out of old dudes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, you could find another, general authority who's like very business minded, right?
Yeah.
Like that's not going to be a hard quality to find from amongst these men, right?
Yeah, no, this is definitely a move about orthodoxy.
He wanted somebody who had signaled very clearly what they stand for.
Yeah.
Right. And that it lines very clearly with the very conservative and traditional stance that Oaks has taken.
Yeah.
Right.
The bad news is that this will have a really negative impact on the church. It will continue how badly many members treat family members who come out as gay or as trans in their lives. It will perpetuate the poor treatment and abuse of of young gay people.
Yeah.
And that's horrible.
But the good news is that it solidifies a position potentially. I mean, there's time in the middle here for it to drift a little, right? Like you get maybe some a little bit more forward thinking, slightly kinder worldview guy in the top seat, right? Who could shift things.
Dieter Uchtdorf is the one that they're terrified of this guy because he's nice. I don't know what his views on LGBTQ people are, but he, in general, everybody loves him. Everybody thinks he's nice. And he's not next in line, but he's coming up.
Yeah. And so like there could be some drift toward niceness, but Oaks wants somebody firmly who is going to hold the line.
Yeah.
Right. If he ever gets to be in the top spot, he can pull the church back from this liberal shift that it will have taken in Oaks's mind.
Yeah.
And, for me, the good news there is that it further distances the Mormon Church from mainline America.
Yeah.
Right. And from just the where things are going. And
I
know that this is a moment in time where things feel a little not a little unsettled, where things feel very unsettled.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of LGBTQ plus people, myself included, are wondering how secure are our rights right now.
Yeah.
Especially if, we don't, first year of Trump 2.0 has been pretty rough.
Yeah.
We got like 3 more years to get through. Who knows what can happen in that time. And I'm not saying this to be scary, but I think we are a little scared.
And that's valid. Things are going in a very scary direction.
Yeah. And so, but culturally, right, broadly speaking, we also enjoy the greatest acceptance that gay people have really ever had.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's only that. I mean, there has been a little bit of a walk back of the progress in the past little bit, but it's only going to keep going in that direction because everybody's realizing, oh shit, you know what? Gay marriage doesn't hurt me at all.
Yeah.
The gay people in my life are fine.
Right.
And so like,
they're not all great, but
things have shifted dramatically.
Or we're not all great.
No, by far. It's not a perfect group of people. Of course not.
Daniel.
How dare
you? We're all angels.
All the gays are angels. That's the that's the title of the show, of this episode. All the gays are angels. No. No, the truth, but absolutely you're right that what this does is it pushes Mormonism further afield of what is obviously true.
Yeah.
And that means that the cognitive dissonance inside members' heads is going to be increasingly explosive.
Yeah.
It's going to be increasingly intolerable. And, they're already hemorrhaging first world members.
Yeah.
I think maybe they're hedging their bets. Maybe they're like, okay, I guess we're just going to be a third world religion from now on. Because that's the only place they're growing, really, is, in Africa, they're doing great.
Yeah. And that does bring up a point that people were wondering, because the growth in Africa has been so explosive, that could there possibly have been a black apostle?
Oh yeah, that was, everybody was looking for the diversity hire there.
Yeah.
Everybody was looking for because they have some black general authorities.
Yeah,
like 3 or 4.
I don't know. I don't know
not that
numbers.
many.
I know that there are some.
It's still a wildly pale group of people, but there are a few people of color, men of color in the ranks, and
maybe they weren't old enough.
No,
right? Like,
that signal that they very clearly Oaks was not gonna send that signal.
Sure, he wasn't, but I just wonder. Like, if they did, they would definitely pick like an 85-year-old,
right?
Right.
who would never have a chance of
stood no
being
chance to become the prophet. I mean, I hate to say something like that, feels icky even saying, but like,
no, you're not wrong. Like if they're
won't
not
be a 55-year-old.
They're not going to tee up a black dude to be the prophet of their church.
Right. Exactly.
No, not a chance. But yeah, so there you go. That's
It's
how
so awful.
that's
So
how Mormons
awful.
work. The Mormons are that's where they're going. Ugh, there you go. It's pasty white for the foreseeable future,
Pasty white and conservative,
and ugly
with
conservative.
little glimpses of niceness every once in a while, but you don't even know what the niceness even means
Right. Yeah.
in real terms.
Niceness, but mean policies is not worth anything to me.
That's Mormonism.
Yeah, there you go. All right, friends. Well, thank you so much for joining us. If you'd like to write into the show and talk to us about your views of the new Mormon choices, you can write to us at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
To support the show, you can go to thankgodimatheist.com/donate.
This episode was edited by Roger Gowdy, and music was provided by the Red Rock Hot Club and Gordon Johnston.
Yeah, thanks so much for all y'all for tuning in. We sure do appreciate you.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Thank God I'm Atheist is a production of TGIA Media, LLC, copyright 2026, all rights reserved.